How's it going,
video
Thurman?
this video is going to be a little bit different, no jump or anything like that. We're going to talk about everyone's favorite Kodansha, right? So to give a little summary of what Kodansha is essentially the another popular publishing magazine in Japan. They published a lot of popular stuff such as Nejima, Seven Deadly Sins, Fairy Tale, Hajime no Ippo, and the like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this video will kind of discuss. We know that Kodansha has made some popular stuff. They've had some stuff that's popular in the West, Seven Deadly Sins, Fairy Tale, and whatnot, and they're very well known in Japan. However, the curious is why Kodansha doesn't really. It's hard to get more info of Kodansha than does Jump, right? Because Jump, you can just go on a website, you can find the latest new Jump titles. You can go and you'll finding news for Jump is easier than it is than finding news for Kodansha, And the big question is, why is that? Why is there such a big gap? Even though Kodansha is seriously such it's kind of like a Marvel versus DC thing kind of thing.
Right. So I guess if I were to try to guess on this, I think that one of the big things is pure branding. Like Shonen Jump is just it's an easier name. Like first of all, right? Especially considering that Shonen, the genre of the actual comic is in the title. You know what I mean? So for the longest time, when I first got into anime, I assumed that all manga came from Shonen Jump. You know what I mean? Because it was like, oh, it's Shonen and it's in Shonen Jump. Obviously, I never even considered the fact that there'd be other magazines. So I think that might be one of the reasons is that it's way better branding on their part. It's not like a Japanese sounding word. It's a word that is understood in our language and side of the country as well. And I think that also, I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark here and say that Dragon Ball Z probably has a lot to do with it as well, considering that's kind of the anime that popularized anime, especially over in our side of the world. So, since Dragon Ball Z came from Shonen Jump, that mixed with its good branding, that would be my guess.
I mean, it's funny you say that too, because Sailor Moon was also one reason why anime was popular in the West, and that was actually from Kodansha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you can't even compare Sailor Moon's popularity to Dragon Ball Z. Like, I know that Sailor Moon was really popular, but, like, let's be honest here. It's not even a competition.
But I feel like Sailor Moon was more for girls at the time, But there's still some guys who like. So I could argue. I mean, which one left their mark on history more? Obviously, Dragon Ball Z, but
Right.
Sailor Moon was still a lot of people's first. Like if you ask a lot of people back in like the '90s, stuff like that, like what anime they remember, more likely than not they're gonna say like, "Oh, I remember Sailor Moon," because Sailor Moon was that popular of a series.
Mm.
But I think it's more because it's if we compare it to like the Marvel and DC thing, right? Like Marvel, like I feel like in America, Marvel is more essentially well known because you see Marvel stuff everywhere.
Honestly, that didn't used to be like that, and I think the movies, the cinematic universe really exploded.
Yeah,
Marvel.
yeah,
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like DC is extremely popular. You'll see Superman everywhere, Batman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think they used
but,
to be more equal, but now that the Marvel movies have just come out and been so consistently good, it's just like, whoa, you see it everywhere.
Yeah, but so it's just like I consider it like that, right? I hear more stuff about Marvel than I do DC. Like I'm pretty sure if I wasn't in the nerd scene like I am now, I probably wouldn't hear much about DC.
Oh, the mainstream mostly hears about Marvel for sure, yeah. And no, but I mean like, I go back to when I was a kid. Like I've never heard of Kodansha until I started reading Fairy Tale. And that was kind of my like, oh, there are different magazines. Like I think that you're kind of like casual to like mid-tier anime fan or anime manga fan might just go towards the Shonen Jump stuff, and I think that is because it's kind of like it's where you're gonna find your very basic bitch stuff. There's not to say there's not good stuff. There's really good stuff, but like you're gonna find your basic shit there. Your Dragon Ball Z's, your Bleaches, your Naruto's, and I think that there's not as many like that in Kodansha. Kodansha seems to kind of go outside the bubble more when it comes to storytelling. Even stuff like Fairy Tail, which is a basic like shonen genre, it still felt very different from like your Naruto's and your Bleaches in the sense that like it just has a completely different feel to it. You know what I mean? Like for the longest time too, I always thought that Kodansha was actually manga. This is my stupid little kid side talking, but like when I was in middle school and I first heard about it, I thought maybe Kodansha was like more on the like for like manga for girls. Then again, this is stupid middle school me talking, but like, you know, because I remember hearing that like I'm trying to remember what other mangas in Kodansha like what was that, because that was Sailor Moon, right? You said that, so like I think that's why I think that's why I thought that.
Yeah, Kodansha has like I can look it up again just for so the comment section will bombard us like you don't know your shit, blah, blah. but very famous stuff that they're known for. They're known for stuff like Seven Deadly Sins, which is ongoing right now. Fairy Tail. It also has stuff like a very popular baseball series called Diamond No Ace. Very good anime, by the way. I recommend that. It has the Nejima series, which is very popular.
So you're already kind of just to kind of continue the point of like why maybe they're less popular. Are you kind of seeing the point I'm making though? Like there's just not nearly as many like big hitter names. You know what I mean? Like you've already like, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't have your Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, Hunter x Hunter. Like with that, like most of what you listed there, I'm like, nah, I have no idea what that is. You know what I mean? Like, and it's why do you think that is, Thurman?
I think it's definitely a part of branding. I think your reasoning is good because I mean like Jump. The one thing it's a downfall, but to be honest with you, I feel like it's a more of a positive. They have it's a skill that Jump have. They know how to push stuff into people's faces. Like there's stuff out there. Black Clover, Dr. Stone, Project Neverland. What is Viz? Right, all these three series. You'll always see like hell. Like they're celebrating their stuff as a company. We had our 50th anniversary. They're doing Jump Force. Movies, crossovers with each other. It's like Jump is trying to push themselves out there. Jump is like more Marvel right now in the sense of they're having stuff like the My Hero Academia movies came out. They have Dragon Ball Z movies. They're good at pushing their stuff to the masses, and Kodansha is just trying to. It does.
I agree with
masses.
You. Yeah.
It doesn't really do it as well as because Kodansha also has Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is a very popular series.
And that one was kind of like a hit. Like it just kind of came out of nowhere and exploded in popularity. And so like I agree with you because you know what, you're right. Like I just scrolling through Facebook, I get advertisements for Promise Neverland, Dr. Stone. It's like, oh, read this shit, right? That never happens with Kodansha stuff. Everything I've ever read from Kodansha, I have personally had to seek out. I had to go find it. You know what I mean? So that's a good point you make.
Because it's like you have to, because they have stuff like Clockwork Planet, that was an anime. They have Cells at Work, that was a manga. They have Cardcaptor Sakura. Cardcaptor Sakura is a very popular series, right?
Do you notice though? This is the point I was trying to make. I couldn't figure out how to articulate it earlier though. Like a lot of the manga that you're listing, it isn't that like shonen battle manga, and that's kind of what is popular. You know what I mean? Like that's like the really big like audience I feel for manga. Not all of it, but like a big chunk of the manga audience is people that like their shonen battle, long-running shonen training battle, blah, 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 right? Not a lot of what you listed is that, and I think that Kodansha doesn't focus as heavily on that aspect.
Oh, yeah, and honestly, I feel like Kodansha is a very
thing. I'm just saying, like, that's probably why it's not as popular.
Kodansha is a very, very, very popular, not very, very good magazine. Like I personally like some of their stuff. I feel like they rival Jump in quality with some of their stuff, right? So
I mean, we've even discussed how it seems like they give their authors a bit more free reign as well. Like that's kind of like the price that comes with popularity, right? Like Shonen Jump as a magazine may be more popular, may brand better, may be bigger, but it does seem like they kind of hold their authors a bit to like a more of like a we control, like the editors seem to have more say. They're able to kind of be like, no, author, you're doing this, whereas at least seemingly Kodansha doesn't seem to do that as much. It's just like from purely just, I have no scientific shit to back this up, but I guess like maybe a little bit. The only thing I can back it up with is you hear interviews out the ass from Shonen Jump authors all the time. You know, people like Togashi have pointed this out. People like is it Srirachi? The guy that does
Srirachi.
Yeah, he's pointed it out. Kubo's pointed it out. Oda's pointed it out. Even Kishimoto made like a fucking like dig at one point, I'm pretty sure. Like, so many of them have pointed out the fact that, like, in this industry, the editors and the magazine owners will try so hard to wiggle their way into your story. But you don't hear that from Kodansha authors. You know what I mean? Like, to my knowledge, I've never seen an interview where they're like, oh yeah, I was told to do this with my story. A perfect example of this as well is that Attack on Titan was brought originally to Weekly Shonen Jump. It was turned down. Because, and I'm pretty sure this is true. I'd have to double Google this, but I'm pretty sure they told the dude, make your main character more like Luffy. Dumb him down a bit. You know what I mean? I'm almost positive I read this at some point. I will double check, but you've heard this before, right, Thurman?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard it.
Like, that's insane. Like that he went there and they were like, nope, dumb down your main character. Like, and Kodansha apparently welcomed him with open arms. So that's kind of the difference between them, and it is a shame that they're not more equal in popularity.
Yeah, man, because Kodansha is great. I recommend people will check it out. I just wish, because as much as I'm into Jump, I wish I can get as much as into Kodansha, but it's hard to know some of their stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, you just got to go to places that'll give you good recommendations, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, any other thoughts on this, Thurman?
I suggest, I guess we should finish off by saying what we think Kodansha should do if they want to start getting their stuff more out there, like Jump.
Well, yeah, so branding is huge. You got to focus on branding, and Thurman hit the nail right on the head with how well they've done branding lately. Like Jump Force already. Like, they had a spot at E3. Can you imagine how many gamers who are just gamers and never were in the anime scene that maybe saw that game and were like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Boom. Mm-hmm. There, you're in there. All the Dragon Ball Z movies, boom, you're in there. The fucking, when Naruto ended, you had Naruto the Last, and oh my god, boom, you're in there. Even as fucking far as all these live action Netflix adaptations, they're almost always Shonen Jump ones. Like, they just seem to kind of like reach their like tendrils out towards every fucking facet of media to push their brand everywhere. And that means that they probably have a very big marketing team, a team that they pay specifically to go around and make deals with other people to get the word out. And I think hopefully Kodansha can maybe potentially up their marketing team, because maybe they market more in Japan. I don't see a lot over here in America.
Mm-hmm. That could make sense. Cause I'm pretty sure they're very popular in Japan. I'm 100% sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, the magazine obviously couldn't survive that long if they didn't give out some marketing aspect to their series. So
yeah, I imagine it's kind of, I'm trying to think of a good metaphor. Like, you know, like there's some things that like sell well enough to keep going, but don't like sell amazingly. Like maybe it's in that regard. Because I know that like things like Fairy Tail, like the volume sold really well, and so yeah, I'm sure it's like good, but like
Attack on Titan is a very well known series too.
They probably never like reached the numbers of Attack on Titan definitely helped them. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that when like shit like your Attack on Titans came out, they should have like capitalized on that and really like pushed like, hey, you want to know where that fucking manga came from? This magazine right here. Check out all this other shit that you may have not seen.
I mean, they're considered Jump's rivals, so I mean, like they have heavy hitters. They have
certainly like quality wise, yes, but you're right about how they just aren't out there as much.
My recommendation is just like you said, just try to brand more. You know, maybe make some movies, make it a crossover game. You know, stuff like that.
Oh my god, it's not as snappy. Kodansha Force. Okay, you know, it'll never happen, but like I wish we could get a Smash Brothers style thing where like Jump and Kodansha make a deal to like get both their characters in this game.
You know, technically there's a game like that, but if it's Jump's parent company,
can you imagine? I just want to imagine for a second. All like it's no longer Jump Force; it's like all of Manga Force. Like, oh, yes. I need that. I mean, that'd be a good idea, man. Like, I'm just saying, it would depend on who has to pay who for that, though. I wonder. Like, I bet, like, I'm sure Jump would be like, oh yeah. I don't know. It'd be hard to do, but like, that'd be a good idea. Like, even if they wanted to pull like a, you know how when like Nintendo got Solid Snake in Brawl, like, you know, that was a crazy deal for like, and I'm sure that it introduced a lot of Nintendo fans to Metal Gear Solid. So like maybe they could get like one Kodansha, maybe they could slap Natsu in there. You know what I mean? Boom. Maybe they could slap fucking I actually don't know her name. What's like the actual name of the protagonist of Sailor Moon? Exactly.
I don't know. Let me look it up.
We're too manly. We're just men. We've never seen it. But I mean, you know, they could slap that motherfucker in there. Like I could see them potentially doing something. It just depends on how their relationship is as companies, because some companies work together more often, and some companies are like, "Fuck you, I'll never work with you." You know. But yeah, I guess final thoughts here, Thurman.
Yeah, Kodansha, get your shit out there so I can love you guys more.
Yeah, sure. And with that,
and with
peace.
With that, peace.